morning and welcome to the 5 p.m. Tulsa City Council meeting. You can view this meeting on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, Cox Channel 24, or at tgovonline.org. Assisting the council tonight are Jack Blair, our city attorney, Lori Doring, our secretary to the council, and Bailey Rogers, council staff. If you wish to speak on an agenda item, please see Bailey to complete a request to speak card. Prior to that item being read, you will not be allowed to speak on any item that has already been read. Please join me in pledging allegiance to the flag of our country and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Please don't. Oh, I don't care. All right. We do not have any proclamations tonight. No special presentations. So announcements. People wishing to speak on an agenda item are limited to 5 minutes total per meeting. Public input is a time for members of the public to provide insight on the agenda item. Due to the meeting format, public input is not a time for a question and answer period. All comments should be relevant to the agenda item and directed to the council. We are using an electronic timing system. In front of the speakers at the microphone, there is a timer that will count down the time used. A green light will indicate your time is running. Yellow light will come on when you have 30 seconds remaining. And a blinking red light will be shown when your time has been concluded. We ask that you stay within your time limits so everyone wishing to speak is given equal time. Please keep the podium area, railings, and aisles free from recording devices and tripods. Recording equipment and accessories, including tripods, must be set up in the media center. As posted on tonight's agendas, certain items we are subject to consideration and possible approval, adoption, denial, amendment, or revision. But before I call the meeting to order, I want to recognize the Tulsa Youth Council that is here this evening with us. If you guys wouldn't mind, come up to the podium, tell us your name and what districts you serve. Okay? You all just line up.
I'll be shy.
This is our special presentation.
Hello, I'm Aaron Smith, and I'm from District 2.
Come on now. Woo!
Hi, my name is Elisa, and I am from District 3.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Benny Moraga. I'm from District 2.
Woo!
Hello, my name is Cynthia Espinoza, and I'm from District 3.
Hi, my name is Francesca Casalina, and I'm from District 8.
Hi, my name is Weston Hood, and I'm from District 8.
Hi, my name is Bailey Garcia, and I'm from District 3.
My name is Margaret Hope Hernandez, and I'm from District 4.
My name is Evelyn Masariegos, and I'm from District 5.
Yay, District 5.
Hello, my name is Johan Marufo, and I'm also from District 5.
Awesome. And you are?
I'm Aaron Pursley, District 1. Yay.
You guys want to take a picture with the youth council? Yeah, you guys come on up.
Has everyone signed a photo release? Okay.
You guys have a talent release form signed at school?
Or with the program. I'm sure.
If you guys want to line up in front of the railing there, we'll line up behind you.
You're late, Hannah.
I know.
Right here, all good, and 1, 2, 3.
district you're from.
Wait until we're seated, and then I'll. Okay, we had one come in late, so if you wouldn't mind, come up to the podium, tell us your name and what district.
Hi, my name's Mary Liv Kuma, and I'm from District 5.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now I call this meeting to order. Lori, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Hall Harper.
Here.
Counselor Archie.
Here.
Counselor Bellis.
Here.
Counselor Gilbert.
Here.
Counselor Bengal.
Here.
Counselor Dr. Wright.
Here.
Counselor Lakin.
Here.
Counselor Bush.
Here.
All right. Item 1, receipt and filing of minutes. We have none this week. 2, appointments and reappointments. We do not have any. 3, public hearings, none. 4, mayor's items. 4A, report from the mayor or his designee on community events, briefing on city activities, city efforts, and new business. Okay, the mayor is not here this evening, so we'll move on. The remaining items 4B through 4E will not be read aloud. However, public comments will be received on these items. Do we have any speakers?
We have 2 speakers. Our first speaker is John Huffines for items 4B, C, D, and E.
Good evening, Mr. Huffines.
Good evening. Peace, yes, peace. I'm thankful for our honorable leaders, Council Chair Karen Gilbert, Honorable Vice Chair Christian Bingle, honorable councilors, staff, team, and security. We're thankful to the citizens of this great city of love, Tulsa, Oklahoma. It is a joy to be with you on this 28th day of January in the year of our loving Lord, Jesus Christ, 2026. Agenda item 4B. This resolution affirms Tulsa's commitment to housing security by approving up to $2.8 million in downtown redevelopment funds to support new downtown housing, including affordable homes. Through partnership with the Tulsa Authority for Economic Opportunity, these resources strengthen development efforts. In this, we see a gracious picture of our loving God, who provides shelter, stability, and wise assistance, guiding communities as they build places where people can thrive and dwell in peace. I'm grateful for this plan and grateful for the taxpayers of our great city. God Almighty, we invoke your guidance. Agenda item 4C. This change order authorizes $438,220 to replace aging brick stormwater structures and piping along Utica Avenue, strengthening infrastructure so water flows safely and reliably. In a similar way, God's love and His holy word invite us to replace worn patterns in our lives with truth that supports growth and forward movement. Through the steady pipeline of the Holy Spirit, hearts align, unity increases, and life flows with purpose, bringing strength, order, and direction. Agenda item 4D. The National Fire Academy equips fire and emergency professionals with skills grounded in excellence, integrity, and public service. Values that align with biblical wisdom. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, taught servant leadership and care for others, calling people to walk in light and truth. The RO 772 Fire Investigation Essentials course trains participants to seek clarity, preserve truth, and act with discernment, echoing Scripture's call to walk wisely and pursue justice. Through this preparation, Michael Rudick returns better equipped to protect lives, strengthen prevention, and serve with unity of purpose. In this work, training becomes a vessel for love in action, reflecting Christ's heart for communities to flourish in safety, order, and peace. Agenda item 4E. This item accepts a generous donation from the Tulsa Police Foundation to the City of Tulsa Police Department. A customized storage box valued at $10,145 for the Community Response Team. This secure equipment solution strengthens readiness, protects essential tools, and supports officers as they serve across Tulsa. A strong police force benefits everyone by promoting safety, stability, and trust. Operating with strength and gentleness together helps maintain peace and order, serving neighborhoods with wisdom and care. Scripture affirms respect for authority, recognizing officers as ministers who serve the common good. God, who is love, invites prayer for all people and for those entrusted with leadership. Honoring and supporting law enforcement helps peace and order to flourish. Thank you, counselors.
Thank you, Mr. Huffines. Next speaker?
Our next speaker is Aaron Persley for item 4B.
Good afternoon, counselors. I'll just make myself available in case there are any questions that you had about this project, but I'll give a quick overview and then answer any questions you may have. So 3D Flats is going to be an 80-unit apartment building downtown, 3rd in Denver, 7 stories, 2 stories for parking, about 50 parking spaces. This is a $2.8 million loan that has a 6-year term and a 6% interest rate. 13 of the 80 units will actually be workforce affordable housing in that development. So with that, I will close and answer any questions you may have.
Anybody? Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Presley. Next speaker, please.
There are no more speakers.
Okay. Is there council discussion?
I just wanted to add to what Mr. Persley just shared. Given our conversation last week, someone had asked, what AMI is and what workforce affordable means. So that's 30 to 80% of the area median income, which right now for a family of 4 is about $58,000. So we're talking that they will be priced for people earning between $18,000 and $40,000 to be able to afford to rent in the downtown core. So that's a lot of our service providers, social workers, public servants, people like that. So I know that we had discussed that last week. Hopefully that helps people kind of frame out who those 13 units will be priced for. So I'd like to move to approve items 4B through E.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Counselor Gilbert,
Yes.
Counselor Bengal,
Yes.
Yes.
Counselor Lakin,
Yes.
Counselor Bush,
Yes.
Counselor Hall Harper,
Yes.
Counselor Archie,
Yes.
Counselor Bellis,
Yes.
Okay, items 4B through 4E are approved. 5, authorities, boards, and commissions. 5A, rezoning application Z7840 from AG to RD, and RS5 for property located at the northwest corner of 31st Street South and South 193rd East Avenue in Council District 6. Do we have any speakers?
And there are no speakers.
Council discussion?
Move to approve item 5A.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Counselor Gilbert,
Yes.
Counselor Bengal,
Thank you, Nathan. Yes.
Counselor Dr. Wright,
Thank you, Counselor Bengal. Yes.
Counselor Lakin,
Yes.
Counselor Bush,
Yes.
Counselor Hall Harper,
Yes.
Counselor Archie,
Yes.
Counselor Bellis,
Yes.
Okay. Item 5A is approved. 6, ordinances first reading. The following items in this section of the agenda will not be read aloud, and without objection, item 6A will be forwarded to the next council meeting for action. 7, ordinances second reading. 7A, rezoning ordinance Z7841 from RS2 to RM2 for property located west of the southwest corner of East 19th Street and South 85th East Avenue. B, ordinance amending the fiscal year 2025-26 budget to make supplemental appropriations of $30,000 recognized from grant revenues to be received from the Cortez Family Foundation Grant Award within the Social and Economic Development Non-Federal Grant Subfund. C, ordinance amending the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget to make supplemental appropriations of $157,000 recognized from unappropriated fund balance within the culture and recreation non-federal grants subfund. D, ordinance amending the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget to make supplemental appropriations of $825,400 recognized from unappropriated fund balance within the sales tax redevelopment loan repayments fund. E, ordinance amending the Tulsa Revised Ordinances Title 51 Building Code, Chapter 1, ICC International Building Code, 2018 edition, adopted Section 101, amendments of the International Building Code 2018 edition by adding subsection 305-2-4 and deleting subsection 305-2-5 to align within state law, which allows licensed family child care homes and large family child care homes to comply within the International Residential Code and operate without an automatic sprinkler system. This item carries the emergency clause. Do we have any speakers?
We have one speaker, Cindy Decker, for item 7E.
Good evening. I'm Cindy Decker, Executive Director of Tulsa Educare, and I'm so glad to see this item on tonight's agenda. Agenda item 7E represents important progress for family child care providers and for the children and families they serve. Local action like this matters. It sends a clear signal that Tulsa values and supports child care providers. Family child care homes are essential to Tulsa's child care system. They're deeply rooted in culture and community, and they provide trusted care in the neighborhoods where families live and work. They also offer flexibility, early mornings and late evenings that many working families cannot find elsewhere. This vote reflects more than 3 years of sustained collaboration. In 2022, Tulsa Educare raised concerns with Councilor Hall Harper that the city's zoning code did not provide a clear pathway for family child care homes. The city agreed to review the code, and that began a long, productive process. We're deeply grateful for the collaboration of the council, Susan Miller and Austin Chapman at the Tulsa Planning Office, the Planning Commission, and the Board of Adjustment. At a time when collaboration can be difficult, this process stands out as people with different perspectives working together to solve a real problem. Even after those successes, large family childcare homes still faced a barrier: the requirement to install automatic sprinkler systems. I also want to call out the leadership of Councilor Bellis and Councilor Dector Wright for staying engaged and helping address this issue. If item 7E passes tonight, family childcare homes will finally have a clear and workable path to receiving a city permit. At a moment when many providers are under real financial strain, this vote sends a powerful message of local support. Tulsa Educare currently supports more than 100 family child care providers right here in Tulsa, and we look forward to continuing to support them as they navigate the city permitting process. Thank you for your leadership and your commitment to child care in Tulsa.
Thank you. Bailey, do we have any other speakers?
There are no more speakers.
Okay. Is there council discussion?
Before we vote, I do just want to thank everyone for continuing to engage in what's been a really lengthy process, and of course the community for sticking with it and advocating. And I know it's left so many of these critical child care providers in limbo for quite some time, so I'm so grateful for the community's patience. And I want to flag that I'm so glad that we're about to hopefully support this tonight, because child care centers across the whole state are being forced to shut down right now because of state funding cuts. And anything we can do on the local level to support child care access right now is incredibly critical. So I really appreciate my colleagues for sticking through this lengthy process. And then, of course, the state legislature for also taking up this issue last session. This has been a long haul, and I know it's not glamorous because it's building code, but it does make a big difference. So thank you, everybody.
Councilor Bingle?
Yep, I totally echo your sentiment. Great work to our counselors that have stuck with this. So that's life impacting for citizens all across Tulsa, especially with the challenges of finding health or childcare, excuse me. My kids are all grown, so I don't know the challenges that exist today that didn't exist yesterday. Just as equally impactful, since we have our youth council here, some of these folks that are sitting here, agenda item C is also impactful. Hicks Park, that parking lot, if you young people have went to that park to participate in any recreational activities, know what a challenge that parking lot is. And it's got an inclusive park playground on it now. So it's nice to see that quality of life is impactful, and hopefully you're seeing that and some of these things that we're doing here tonight. So both of these, I think, are highly impactful to our community. So thank you.
Councilor Dr. Wright?
Thank you. I'd just like to add, when you hear the things we're talking about tonight, we're talking about years and years and years of work, advocacy. It starts with you all to bring us the challenges, the needs, and then we have to work through funding mechanisms, sometimes a state change. And so I did want to uplift, thank you to Representative Suzanne Schreiber and Representative Ron Stewart for also bringing this to the state level. It obviously now will impact communities across the state. Obviously, the city of Tulsa being the second largest, we have a lot of need. And so I hope that we continue to refine and have these conversations. And thank you for acknowledging how long it takes and how long we just have to stick with it. A lot of the items you see here are years and years and years of ideation and going back to the drawing board, finding the funds, Hicks Park, right? We talked about that 2 capital packages ago. So we're excited to finally see these things come in. And for our youth council, the things we're talking about today as just new ideas may take 3 or 5 or 10 years to get to where we're actually taking a vote. But keep showing up, keep speaking up, and we need your new ideas. Sometimes we visit an idea and it's not the right time to be a priority, but that doesn't mean it's not a good idea. So with that, I'd go ahead and make a motion to approve items 7A through 7E with the emergency clause on 7E.
Second.
Lori, please call the roll.
Counselor Gilbert?
Yes.
Counselor Bengal?
Yes.
Counselor Dr. Wright?
Yes.
Counselor Lakin?
Yes.
Counselor Bush?
Yes.
Counselor Hall Harper?
Yes.
Counselor Archie?
Yes.
Counselor Bellis?
Yes.
Okay. Items 7A through 7E are approved with the emergency clause on 7E. Congratulations.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I apologize. We may need to go back to item 5A. I understand there's an optional development plan now in that matter. So what I might suggest is that someone might consider a motion to reconsider item 5A and amend the motion previously adopted to add the optional development plan as included in backup.
Okay. Is there a motion to reconsider item 5A?
Can I make it in one motion like you just said, Jack?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Move to reconsider item 5A and approve it with the optional development plan as listed in the backup documentation.
Second.
Okay. Lori, please call the roll.
Counselor Gilbert?
Yes.
Counselor Bengal?
Yes.
Counselor Dr. Wright?
Yes.
It's me, I'm yes.
Counselor Lakin?
I didn't know where we were, obviously. We were talking. Yes.
Counselor Bush?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Archie?
Yes.
Counselor Bellis?
Yes.
Okay. Item 5A has been approved with the backup material attached to it. So, all right, are you guys ready to move on? Okay. I don't know.
We can move
All right, item 8, council items, 8A, counselors' announcements and reports on current community events, activities, efforts, and concerns other than announcements and reports. No discussion will ensue. Anybody have announcements?
I have one.
Counselor Archie?
All right. So I want to invite everyone this coming Tuesday to join us at the Paige Belcher Golf Course. We were supposed to have this meeting yesterday, but because of the weather, it had to be postponed. But there's a project potentially coming to the corner of 71st and Union. And before we move forward with any discussion in committee, I want to have a community conversation about it. And so join us at Paige Belcher Golf Course. We're going to be in the clubhouse there. And it's going to be at 6 p.m. And join us. Come with your questions. The developer will be there to give a presentation, and we want to see your face in the place.
No ice golf.
You can wear your golf hat if you want, with a little ball on top if you'd like. I'm not a golfer, but it's a
If you
cool
have one of
environment.
those, we all need to see it. So, all right, any other announcements? All right. 8B, consideration and possible approval of City Council initiation of amendments to the Neighborhood Infill Overlay, also known as NIO, text and expansion of NIO zoning map boundaries for portions of the City Council Districts 1 and 3. Do we have any speakers on this item?
We have 2 speakers, James Alexander Jr. and Bernice Alexander for item 8B.
Good evening, Mr. Alexander.
Good evening, councils. Good evening, everyone else. When it comes to things that affect my neighborhood or where I have a house, especially North Tulsa, I want everybody to know that this neighborhood infill overlay, ever since it was presented to the council, by the council, however it was presented, I have been against it. Because when you look at where you live and you understand what is available where you live, and those things are not being done where you live, there is a problem. And you should come up here to the council and deal with it like I have been doing since 1993. That's a long time. And I haven't fulfilled my thing of ending what I feel is a problem. And the problem is that the whole of Tulsa is not being, how can I put this? It's not being played on the same level. The field is being tilted. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Playing any kind of sport? Okay. Now, when you talk about this infield, right now you talk proposing for other areas. Now it's 1 and 3 now. Now you have Dawson is included in the area, but it was separate from everything else. I read the background. And when you're dealing with where you live, understand what's supposed to be in that area. What's supposed to be in this area is not what's going on with the city council. And I blame myself, and I blame the people that are supposed to be leaders in that area, not doing what they're supposed to do and letting the city take over the area. The city is taking over the area. As you look at North Tulsa, District 1, and the houses that they're putting over there, they don't fit in with the core of the neighborhood. We have one purple house that's built like a box. It is so out of place over there. If anybody that's been in North Tulsa on Virgin has seen this purple house, it is ugly. It is an ugly house on a main thoroughfare. This is what I'm talking about. It does not go with the community. And that's the problem I have. Now, I know this overlay is confirmed to the size of the lot or area, but the problem is that I'm so upset I can't hardly talk. And that's unusual. I don't usually get upset. But this area that I'm talking about is an entitlement area set up by the federal government and has a plan. Since 2018, there has been no plan set up for that area, which is a problem. And you're still receiving the money for the area with no plan from the people that live in the area. Now, who doesn't think that's a problem? If you let's think about this for a minute. If you lived in the area, certain things were supposed to come in that area that has not been coming, what would you do? Would you sit there and let things go on like they are, or would you get off your butt and come up here and do something about it? I intend to keep fighting. I'm going to win this fight. I have never been in a fight that I haven't won. Never been in a fight that I haven't won. I'm going to win this fight.
Good evening, Miss Alexander.
Good evening, and I pass.
Thank you. Is there a council discussion? Yep, sorry, Councilor Bellis.
Oh, yeah. I just want to clarify, since we have the youth council with us as well, this is just initiating the beginning of a process that can include a good amount of community engagement. That'll include, of course, the Planning Commission as well, to do an overlay that allows for some infill housing to happen, especially on vacant lots. It already exists in my district and has been really successful at helping support different types of housing and affordable housing to go in and meet a lot of our housing need. It hasn't disrupted neighborhoods. And of course, you can paint a house purple at any point in a lot of neighborhoods in the city. My daughter loves that house. But this is just to say that what's happening here is something that we have precedent for in a lot of the neighborhoods surrounding downtown already, and it's been a really successful zoning change. So it's not doing something without community. This is initiating a process that then involves community along the way.
Any other council discussion?
I would just add to what Councilor Bella shared. Infill means where there's empty space, an empty lot, that instead of just replacing a single family home, maybe a duplex could go in, a triplex, something different than what our zoning code has historically allowed. And that's good for families like mine. That's multi-generational. I'd love to have a duplex or a triplex to accommodate everyone than one big house. So as Councilor Bella said, we started this in 2022 with the near downtown neighborhood infill overlay. I think Councilors Hall Harper and Dutton saw what was successful and have asked to now initiate a little bit more of a application into their parts of town. And then, as Mr. Alexander shared, there is already a similar thing with a little bit more customized provision because they went through a community-led process in Dawson, which is in District 3, Northeast Tulsa. I regret that Councilor Dutton's not here with us tonight. I know she would be very much strongly advocating for this. So if there's no further discussion, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve item 8B.
Second.
Okay. Lori, please call the roll.
Counselor Gilbert?
Yes.
Counselor Bengal?
Yes.
Counselor Dr. Wright?
Yes.
Counselor Lakin?
Yes.
Counselor Bush?
Yes.
Counselor Hall Harper?
Yes.
Counselor Archie?
Yes.
Counselor Bellis?
Yes.
All right. Item 8B is approved. 9, new business. There are no items this week. 10, appeals. 10A, hearing and possible action upholding or denying an appeal to the City Council requested by Mr. Adatula, contesting the decision of the nuisance hearing officer and nuisance case number 116646-2025, finding that the property located at 5707 North Frankfurt Avenue, Tulsa, Oklahoma, is a public nuisance and ordering its abatement. The City Council may reverse or affirm wholly or partially, or may modify the order, requirement, decision, or determination appealed from and may make such order, requirements, decision, or determination as ought to be made. We will hear from the representatives from the City of Tulsa. During your time, please include a summary of the administrative hearing outcomes And since this item was continued, provide a status update on violations. We will give code enforcement 10 minutes, and then we will have Mr. Atatula come up for 10 minutes. So code enforcement, if you want to come on up and give us information.
Good evening, councilors. I'm Kevin Cox with City of Tulsa Code Enforcement Department. This case originally began in October of 2025. Evaluation of the property determined violations consisting of trash, junk, and debris, unsecured structure, an inoperable vehicle. Other investigation findings found that the structure was deteriorating, was in a state of neglect, and therefore our department issued 2 separate notices, one for demolition, one for the nuisance for the trash, unsecured, and the inoperable vehicle. On the 13th of October, our department made a reinspection of the property, found that the nuisance violation had been corrected by the property owner, so the car had been removed, the house had been secured, the debris had been cleaned up, and that case was subsequently closed with no further action. On the 22nd of October, an administrative hearing was held. The property owner was present at the time. City gave photographs and documentation to the hearing officer outlining the condition of the structure and why we felt that the structure was in a dilapidated condition. The hearing officer did sign the order of abatement at that time, declaring the property a public nuisance. During that time at the public hearing, we gave the property owner a resource guide outlining various organizations on if he could contact them and see if there was any other resources available to try to rehabilitate the structure. And while we're talking about rehabilitating the structure, that is our primary goal for the dilapidated structure team, is to get houses rehabilitated back online. It's not to demolish them. We would much prefer working with the property owner, bring the property in compliance and getting it rehabilitated and again back online. On November the 3rd, an appeal was filed with the city clerk's office, and our case for the demolition was subsequently put on hold. In the presentation that was outlined or given to you all, outlines all the codes from not only Title 24 of the city revised ordinance, but Title 11, the Oklahoma State statutes, Title 55 of the Property Maintenance Code, and kind of outlines the specific codes and guidelines where when we make evaluations of properties, we take all of these into effect to make a determination before we even take it to a hearing officer and present that evidence. And ultimately, the hearing officer listens to both sides and then makes their own independent decision on whether the property is a public nuisance before they sign that order. So there's some photographs in the packet that was provided. These were just some outlines, some of the conditions of the property when we did our inspections, things that we could see, the rot, the decay. At the time there was a hole in the roof. The owner has subsequently patched that hole in the roof, but during some of our inspections there were holes in the roof, and then the conditions of the interior and the exterior of the property. During the appeal, the owner made the assertion that the demolition codes were applied incorrectly and interpreted incorrectly in his situation. Our assertion is that the appellant was properly notified, given an opportunity to appear in front of a public hearing officer. The hearing officer or the property owner was also emailed and also given information not only at the hearing but prior to the hearing of a repair assistance, our demolition incentive program, contractors, and a list of investors in the area if he chose to go any which route. We'll always try to provide as much information that we can to each property owner. Again, it's an attempt to work with property owners to get the houses rehabilitated is our first and primary goal. Again, the appellant did attend the public hearing, discussed his plans, concerns, and was given extensive resource lists for potential assistance. The appellant did send in photographs showing that the hole in the roof was repaired. And again, the property was secured, cleaned by the property owner, so we always appreciate that voluntary compliance. So we were able to close that aspect of our case. Since that time, there has been no real change to the condition of the structure. There's no permits on file as of yet. So again, we're asking that the appeal be denied and the assigned order upheld, and giving the opportunity for us to work with the property owner to get the property, a construction schedule outlined, dates and times of when things would occur, so we can work with the property owner and make sure that the property stays on track in order to get rehabilitated. And with that, I will answer any of your questions or. Thank you.
All right, we will now hear from the appellate during your time. Please include a summary of errors you believe were made during the administrative hearing and provide a status update on violations. Yeah, come on up. Do you need a chair maybe at the microphone?
Crutches are rough. Do you want a chair?
If I do, I'll let you.
Are you sure?
Okay, please let us know.
Good evening, councilors.
Good evening. You have 10 minutes, sir.
Okay. I don't know where to begin. This property was stolen from me. Okay. And the lady that stole the property, she made a quitclaim deed back in 2019. Okay. And then she got in, starts moving stuff, So my neighbor called me. So when they called me, I went there. I saw her. I called 911. Okay, when the officer came, she showed them quitclaim deed. They said, well, okay, there's nothing we can do on it. She had a quitclaim deed. I said, no, this property is stolen. I didn't authorize. I didn't do no quitclaim deed or nothing, They said, well, there's nothing we can do. That's a civil matter. I said, no, a crime is committed, She said, I sold her the property for $8,000, which I did not. And then you can't do quitclaim deed when you're not a family member. You have to foreclose. They said, well, we checked this, the police officer said, well, we checked. He has Tulsa County assessors on it. That's good enough for us, You got to leave. So I left. So then I went home. I said, well, no, I don't think they're going to make a report. So I made a supplement report. Okay. Nothing was done about it. Then she saw my Jaguar, my Wrecker. I made a report on it. Thank God I have Officer Floyd came. He took the report. So something was done about it. So we went to court. Then the judge, because they already changed the title, everything, So the judge reversed it and gave me ownership of the car and the record. But the house, nothing is done about it. So when I went downtown again, where you file your documents, So I told them, they said, well, they look at it, they said, well, this is fraudulent, but what we do is just file. We don't be checking, Then I said, well, if somebody come here with a bogus, you guys just file it? They said, yeah, you just need to make a report. As I made a report, the police department is the one that sent me over to you guys, Okay. Then I said, well, okay, that's a criminal deal. They said it's a sewer. I don't think it's a sewer because this lady took my house, and then when I saw the damage they did to my house. This is a house that my son got killed close by there. I wouldn't leave that house, because I keep thinking he's coming back. They finally dragged me out of there because so that I don't commit suicide, Then this lady took my house. I can't do nothing about it. And when I tried to be a law abiding, citizen, I made the report, I did everything. Nothing was done on it. They keep telling me it's a civil. I don't think it's a civil matter. And then when I look at it, when I got there, they checked my ID. If they had run that lady's ID, they would have known that she got all the fraudulent fraud, all kind of thing, But they didn't do that. They just said, oh, well, it's a civil matter, you go back. That's why we're here today. If that lady was there, so she still had a quitclaim deed showing that she owns the property, So what I did was, so when I went downtown, they said, well, what you can do is you can transfer ownership, I said, really? So I was right there. Then we went ahead. I transferred the ownership back in 2022 to Joseph Aditula Foundation because I felt there's no way anybody can steal something that is the foundation there, But since then, the neighbor will complain that you got a homeless people. They go through the roof. They camp in there because it's boarded up, everything, And things like that, That's just consistent thing that I've been going through, Plus, I was sick. It's just God's grace that I'm still here, 2 months in the hospital, And then I was really disabled. I couldn't walk, But God's grace, now I can get away from the wheelchair and things like that to see people doing, it's just uncalled for, So then the city, when I went there, they said, oh, we're going to work with you. Okay. So after they working with me, the next thing I knew, they filed a lien on the property. They ain't done nothing. I have it, because what happened was when I did transfer the ownership, they said, well, we're going to notify you if there's anything into your property, So then I find out they did a quick, they find a lien. Then I said, well, okay, these people said they were going to work with me. What's all this? Now I can't get no help with a lien on the property, There's nothing I can do. So apparently they want to demolish the house regardless, So I felt, it's not right. That's the reason why I appealed, to have somebody else to take a look at it, I still have the ownership deal. They send the same thing that they sent me, they sent it to the lady. She didn't show up. I thought she would show up. No. So how are you working with me and you got a lien? How am I going to get help? There's a lien in the house. I can't do nothing. So.
Sure. Are you done? Or you have more to present to us?
Well, I just have all the paperwork, that I have, If you guys want to take a look at that, and then I have all that, And I have on the car situation, so I knew the police can do something about it because they were the one, it was Officer Floyd that made the report on that one, So, they filed the report, we went to court, and then they were able to, I think last year to October, that's when the judge gave me ownership, of the 2 vehicles back, But they did not do the paperwork on the house because, you know, that wasn't done. But on the other one, you know, they did that. You know, if they had done the same thing with this, I would have had more grounds to do my house. So what I can do is secure. I can do nothing more because of this quitclaim deed, you know.
Okay. All right. If you want to take a seat,
Okay.
and then you can sit right up there. It doesn't. Or do your questions have to do with him or with code enforcement? Okay.
But it's probably better if you just stand there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you won't have to keep moving.
Oh, you can bring. Go ahead and bring that on up for him. We're going to get you a handheld microphone so you can have a seat. There we go.
Okay, Kevin, stand by, because I think it's just going to be some back and forth. So, Mr. Atatula, so you went to court and all of that. You now have deed back of your property, correct?
No. They didn't fight. The only one I got back that they went to court and it's on the cars. I got the cars back.
So
they gave me authorization to go get the cars back.
get the cars,
But
but
they
the
never
house is
fi-
still in the woman's name? Is that what
Which
you're
one?
saying?
The cars?
The house.
Yeah, where the house is kind of technical, you know, when they won't file a report, right? So when I went to the assessor, so, you know, and I told them, they said, well, they look at it, they said, well, this didn't look fraudulent, you know, but that's nothing we can do, you know.
Right.
Okay, so I said, well, they said, so both you guys' name, my name and hers. I said, well, she's trying to sell it, you know. So they said, well, we don't advise nothing. So I told her, I said, well, if I was to sell the property, you know, can I do it? They said, well, hey, you know. So right there in there at the assessor's office, so I quitclaim to the foundation, you know, to stop her. But, you know, she's still, within, you know, her deed is not recorded, you know, it's still active, you know. She still got a quitclaim deed that she did.
Kevin, who are we notifying for abatement on this property? It has to be the property owner.
We notified 4 separate addresses people. So the foundation that Mr. Atatula, so the Joseph Foundation.
What's the foundation?
Joseph Atatula Foundation.
Oh, you're a foundation,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Okay.
we also notified an address, Mr. Atatula's address on Peoria, and then also Joseph Foundation on actually at the actual address at 57. But there was another interested party that is listed in Tulsa County Land Records, and we also made notice to that person as well.
Is this
which
the
is
woman you're
same-
talking about?
Same person that they're reflecting. So Mr. Atatula and I, before the meeting tonight started, discussed that, and you know, my suggestion to him was to either seek legal counsel on what steps they would have to do in order to get that name removed, and also possibly contact Legal Aid of Oklahoma and see if they can get some legal advice on what steps in order to get that person's name removed off of that title. It's not something we, the city, could do.
No.
So it would have to go through some type of court or
A civil,
civil,
like what he was
civil
saying,
matter.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're here about the abatement.
Yes, ma'am.
And the hearing officer said what?
The hearing officer declared the property a public nuisance.
So we can abate it, not demolish it, but give him time to make the repairs.
So in the signed order, it gives the property owner, as it reads, 30 business days in order to come up with a plan of action. Obviously, when we work with property owners, we go far beyond the 30 days
Right.
of repair. So what we're asking for tonight is to start working towards submitting that plan.
Okay.
You know, Mr. Atatula's timeline, so we can start coming up, so he can start coming up with a plan on how to rehabilitate the structure, and then we can structure our inspections based on you know, his goals on getting it towards rehabilitating. So I know he's got with this issue that I learned this evening, as far as another name on the title, there are some issues that I understand that he will need to get corrected and because it does clout the title. And I can 100% understand that. So we'd be more than happy to work with him during that time frame while he's trying to get those issues resolved and holding on our enforcement until as long as we can continue to see that he's trying to get that issue resolved. Then we can work on to the construction schedule because of the timing.
But the clouded title issue does not preempt or stop the work of bringing the property into code. You can move forward with him on that side. The civil matter is a civil matter. Am I interpreting that correctly, Jack? But we have a decision because that was made that we need to vote on tonight to get this taken care of, right? The decision, and then we can move forward with you all working together and bringing the property into code, right?
Yes, ma'am. Again, our goal is to work with Mr. Atatula to come up as he comes up with the construction schedule and work with him during those time frames and
so right now demolition is not on, we're not talking about demolishing anything. We're talking about him working to bring it back up to code.
That is the goal. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right.
Okay. We have a couple other, so don't leave.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilor Bellis and then Councilor Bengal.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to just make sure I can understand or clarify based on whatever's going on with, so just to triple check that I understand, who currently has the deed for the property?
So
the foundation.
Tulsa County Assessors and Treasurer's Office lists the Joseph Atatula Foundation as the property owner.
Okay.
When we do our legal research, we go through all various records that are available in the clerk's office. So we'll find things like mortgage companies, other liens, or other interested parties. So this name that Mr. Atatula is talking about did come up in our legal research. So anytime we find a name, whether it's a bank, whether it's anybody involved with the property, we always make notice to, again, trying to notify everybody that's involved as a requirement by ordinance, but also it's hopefully the ability to contact somebody so we can start working with them. Okay. So, but in this case, again, just learning before the meeting regarding the other interested party. That's why I encourage, contacting for Mr. Atatula to contact a lawyer or legal aid of Oklahoma so he can learn his legal rights on as far as that civil matter issue.
Yeah, I have seen this quick lien issue come up before with, tried to see how the city could help someone remedy that. And per what you're describing, I know it's like a civil litigation matter at that point.
And that's part of that resource guide that we give out to citizens when we're trying to work with them and on getting houses rehabilitated. It's an extensive list, but it does cover legal aid, or if you have legal questions, who you could reach out to, but also has other organizations that may help out as far as rehabilitating the structure, it's just a long, extensive list that we provide when we're working with citizens and trying to get properties brought back into compliance.
Yeah, and I'm glad you all are doing that education, because I do think people sometimes I've seen this happen before where someone gets, somehow, things get legally, people get taken advantage of or things like that. This is a question for Mr. Atatula. Sir, with what they're requesting you to do, right, if they're not demolishing the house, but there are things to do to come into compliance, with the timeline that's given, or maybe the financial things that would require, are those things feasible for you? Is it hey, I'll do these things to fix up the property, but I need more time, or is it a financial hardship? Could you tell us a little bit more about if you feel like you're trying to fix those things, it's just that you need more time, or the dollar amounts to is something that's hard for you to access right now?
Okay. One, I have financial hardship, but the nuisance, according to everything is corrected. It was boarded up, it was cleaned up, and they took it up. But they still want to demolish. So I said, why why they demolished when the whole, it was two, they cited me two things, clean up, not put girls and secure the building. Okay, then the next thing they're gonna demolish. So they took up the nuisance, is done. The building is secured. Okay, for you to demolish a building, you had to, I'm saying, it don't fall into that category anymore because it's secured. It's boarded up. So the hole on the roof is fixed. So there's no element going inside the house anymore. So coming to demolish it should have been off the table. But they went ahead and put a lien on the house without not even doing anything. I have it, they send a lien. Okay, so, but they keep telling me, go get this help, but you're putting a lien on the house. So how am I going to be able to get any help? You just tie my hand behind my back, So you're not helping me. But still, I fix everything that they said they need to make the structure sound. The structure is okay. So there's no any maybe health hazard, because it been more than 30 days now. We ain't here, so everything is fine. It's secure. There's no rain in the house anymore. Everything is fine. I fixed every trim. I did all that. But still, my deal is, why you going to demolish a structure that I'm paying $54,000 on property tax on, and you all want to demolish it, and they said they would charge me $8,000 to do that. So they're not working with me. They're saying all this thing that when I went to the hearing, it was the same thing. Oh, we'll work with you and everything like that. Then when I got home, I find out they put it in. So I don't understand.
Okay, thank you. Would you mind clarifying or?
So yes, so there were two separate notices sent out because there's two separate processes. The first notice that went out was to secure the property because it was found unsecured, clean up the trash, junk, and debris, and remove the inoperable car. That was done, and our case was closed. The second notice was based on the evaluation that we made and the condition of the structure being in what we felt at the time, based on the photographs we took and what we could document and lawfully see, was the deterioration of the structure. We believe that felt into the dilapidated condition based on the various codes and ordinances. So that was the purpose of the second notice, and also the purpose for the public hearing. The lien that Mr. Atul is referring to is a notice of lien. So when a property is declared a public nuisance, that notice of lien does get filed with Tulsa County Land Records. It does clout the title, but it's also if he does sell the property, it also makes it a kind of a buyer beware that if somebody does buy the property afterwards, that they do also have to bring that property into compliance. Again, there's a no monetary value to that lien. But our goal and what we discussed in the hearing, and I know the inspector that's handling the case is to get that construction schedule planned so we could start working with Mr. Atatula on trying to get it back up to a habitable, safe living condition, that has all of its components in order to be a safe and sound structure.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
They told me when they sent me certified, they said you can't sell the house. We got a lien on it. He's saying something that's different. I can't. When you all told me I can't sell it, I can't do nothing. You all want to demolish it, That's the whole Zoom we're going. Now he's saying something that's that I can I could have maybe find somebody, but I have the certified letter say I can't sell it. We're gonna demolish.
So under Title 55, it requires that the property owner notify if they do sell it. So it doesn't prevent the owner from selling it. It just by ordinance requires them to notify the potential new buyer that there is an order of abatement on file. Again, it doesn't prevent it, but I mean I understand that sometimes that's kind of a, can be misinterpreted incorrectly.
So, to clarify, I think that's okay. Helpful clarification about what he's able to do with the property legally is. So, how much time does he have to come into compliance to prevent demolition?
So the signed order gives the owner 30 business days.
Okay.
But
if someone provides
our
the
goal
schedule,
is always,
yeah.
we give far greater time than the 30 days. So as long as they're working towards whether it's, trying to get bids or trying to get,
Right.
contractors out there to figure out what, everything that needs to be done and start putting that into a timeline, we'll work with them. Once they have submitted all their plans, then the typical construction schedule is about 6 months, but we can adjust that if, weather delays, supply delays, anything that delays the process. As long as we stay in communication, and that's kind of our key to where, when we're working with property owners to get houses rehabilitated, is just that open communication that if something does, slow down or, bad weather and it delays from something getting fixed, that, a simple call or an email, and we can adjust that construction schedule beyond the 6 months.
Okay. And then just to clarify with Mr. Atatula, so are you willing to work with the city on bringing it into compliance? Or I also heard you say that the repairs were already done?
Yes, it's board up. The structure is included, yeah, everything is board up. It's secured.
Okay, but it's not up to code. But are you willing to work with the city to bring it up to code? I understand again that can take resources and time, but they're saying you have it secured right now, so you're meeting that one need, but in order for it to be a safe structure that has that lien off of it, it has to be brought up to city code. And are you willing to work with the city to work on kind of a timeline and plan to make that happen?
Well, yeah, I'm willing to, but also it's nice money there because all these damages are done by this lady here. Okay, somebody got to account for it, and I'm thinking that, with all those damage done, this lady needs to be to account for it, She stole the house from me. So it's not a civil matter, that's a criminal offense, I think they changed the policy now that you can, if you file fraudulent, then the city, will take over, take the case, Before they don't have that. I think they have it now. So maybe I need to go there and show them these so that they can't file a criminal offense on her. I don't believe it's a civil matter. I think it's a criminal offense, because she fraudulent took the house away from me, and I couldn't have no rights to that house.
Okay. I'll yield my.
Yeah.
All right, we have Councilor Bengal, Archie, and
Thank you, Mr. Atatula. Kevin, I got a question real quick. I'm trying to understand how this other party isn't involved in this as well. If I understand this correctly, I'm trying to figure out, was this person, this other party, occupying the property when it was being abated? Or was it vacant at the time?
When we inspected in October, the property was vacant. I think Mr. Atatula was saying this happened a few years ago. So this would have been prior to the demolition case being opened, or this last inspection where we, or the inspection in October where we found it unsecured with debris. So this happened. Mr. Atatula probably helped me with the timeline on when the quitclaim deed and everything all occurred. But that was prior to us being involved on this particular
That's where I'm confused. How does the quitclaim deed play into this? Were they joint property owners?
No.
How did she end up being an interested party in this? In what regard?
Well,
And they're your guys' land
you know,
research
so
records.
when we do our titles research, we look at the assessors, the treasurers, and the clerk's pages as 3 points of contact, and then also there's some other water records is another one. So in our legal research, we found this name as a potential interested party. So anytime that there's a potential interested party, a mortgage company, somebody that may have a other lien on the property, we will make notice to try to make contact and to try to find out what is going on with the property and see if we can work together as far as bringing the property in compliance. This name in particular, that's on the title, I didn't know any of this background. We didn't know any of this background, but obviously they're tied to it somehow, some way. You know, our responsibility is also to make notice, but again, but when these things get pointed out, is to try to help, you know, give the best advice that we can, and the best advice that we can give on this particular issue is to obviously seek legal advice from an attorney, Legal Aid of Oklahoma, some other resource that could provide, you know, some legal guidance on how to remove this name that's listed in the Tulsa County Clerk's page.
So,
she was. I couldn't get out of it because she always had that quitclaim deed.
that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Who actually owns the property? Who was actually living there? Because if you pull up some of those pictures again, if you look at the property, the hole in the roof, the interior of the house, this isn't like a couple of weeks or a year's worth of dilapidation. This is an extended period
So the
of
hole in the roof
neglect.
has been patched. The house has been secured, but as far as the any interior, exterior repairs, you know, so we haven't been able to see anything beyond. There might have been, you know, some boards repaired, but as far as the overall condition, we haven't seen any, you know, major improvements in order to bring it back up to a habitable, safe living condition. And again, that's our goal, is to work with Mr. Atatula on trying to get those issues resolved, so somebody could live in there safely, soundly, with all the proper, you know, electrical, heat, plumbing, those type of things, in order to make it a safe, sound structure.
I think it would be interesting to see if it's structurally sound and is actually rehabilitable, and what that
So we don't
might
we don't
cost.
make that determination whether, so that's why, you know, we kind of exhaust all of our efforts to try to work with the property owners to get those houses rehabilitated. So we don't make the decision on whether it's rehabable or not rehabable. We can give them the resources, the guide, you know, if resource guidelines, you know, as far as, you know, if they have any questions, you know, there might be some organizations to contact. A lot of times it's going to be on the property owner to contact a general contractor and those things. So, but again, to work with the property owner to get the house rehabilitated.
This one is challenging for me because you have a third party who's not standing here, who apparently has an interest in this property, and it's all on this gentleman right here. And obviously, he probably doesn't have the means to bring this to, I don't know what it costs to bring it to code. I don't know that it's structurally sound. Has a structural engineer looked at this and, you know, determined, you know, with the hole in the roof, you know, what kind of structural damage has been done to that house? You know, I'm even challenged. What does that look like cost-wise for him, and what programs would he qualify for specifically that would help him bring it to code? I'm just challenged by this whole thing. Not your work specifically, but I think the circumstances that he finds himself in.
And that's
This is
why,
really
that's why we
challenging for
provide
me.
those resource guides, you know, so, you know, again, you know, to try to work with property owners to, you know, to see if there's anything that's available, you know, for them. We give them, like I said, contractor list, investor list. Not that, demolition is not our goal, but we do have the demolition incentive program in the resource guide. So there may be some other, organizations out there that can help. And again, if there is help, that available, or if they decide, Mr. Atatula decides to rehabilitate the structure, then we'll work with him on those time frames and kind of help work with him on those issues, so we can work together again with the ultimate goal of getting it rehabilitated.
Yeah, I'm just challenged by the whole situation that this gentleman finds himself in with a third party who potentially, I don't know if they have a legal claim to the property.
These are not current pictures that's up here.
Right. Mr. Pitchford, do you want to add something? Those are.
So,
Brant Pitchford with Code Enforcement. Just to help maybe clarify things, the interested party we added is no different than if we added a bank or somebody with a contractor's lien or something like that. We have to notify them and bring them up to speed on the process of that property. We don't make the judgment call on whether
Right.
she has a right to the property or no right to the property. That's not for us to make. So I just wanted to point that out, that even though this is a single person that did whatever she did to Mr. Atatula in earlier years, it's the same as a bank having interest in the property as well.
Also, they were there yesterday. They took the current pictures, They ain't showing that because my neighbor said it, And the Channel 8 was there today, and they took the structure was in good shape. They took everything. So if you guys can watch Channel 8 news, they have the condition of the property. The structure is in good standing, and everything, So it's not something.
So this is not a current picture.
I just want to know what programs it qualifies for, what it would cost to bring this up to code, and would he qualify for enough programs? What does that timeline look like, and is it structurally sound enough to rehabilitate? Because that's always important to me. Just because you make surface or facade repairs or put roof repairs in place doesn't mean it's structurally sound. And when you've had a hole in the roof, which if I'm looking at the picture of the hole in the roof, right, obviously you've repaired the hole. So that's not in question to me. And the property's secured, obviously. The problem for me is that hole in the roof. How long has that been there?
Okay, are you done?
Yeah,
All right.
I just want to understand.
There's
yeah.
lots of questions.
Yeah.
Counselor Archie, and then Counselor Dr. Wright and Hall Harper again.
Has he had to pay any fines and fees associated with this yet?
No.
Okay. Well, I think maybe the challenge is that whatever expenses he may incur because of the rehabilitation, the other interested party wouldn't have to, because they're not here, they wouldn't have to pay it. So maybe that's part of the hardship. You said something, I don't recall your name, sir, Kevin. You said that you all don't determine if a house is able to be rehabbed?
So, no, we do not make the determination whether somebody a private owner makes a decision whether they want to rehabilitate their property or not, depending on if it's various conditions, rot and decay, if it's been destroyed by fire. The city does not make a determination on whether somebody has the right to rehabilitate. If they choose that they want to rehabilitate their structure in any condition, we work with them, make sure they get all the proper permits, and we work with them towards that goal on getting it rehabilitated.
Okay. When you described the two tracks, you talked about the trash, junk, and debris, the roof, that's been cleared. You were a little bit more vague on when you say condition of the structure. You'll clearly communicate to Mr. Atatula what he would need to do to get the place up to compliance? Because I'm thinking if I was in his position, I'm not sure what all that would entail either.
So, the rotten decay that's on the exterior, the windows, the door frames, the things that have been damaged by neglect or decay, to make it the structure sealed up. Obviously, we encourage them, if to seek advice if there's issues related to electrical, plumbing, because with the power and the water turned off in the years that it has been turned off, there may be other underlying issues. We require them to bring it up to livability standards that's under the Title 55, so that things like hot water, running water, the heat at the proper temperature that's required under the property maintenance code. So all of those things that need to be brought into a habitable condition. Each property is going to be a little bit different, but we also make sure that they know that they have to have a good functioning kitchen. The bathroom has to be in good working order. Bedrooms, again, heat, water supply, hot water. Those necessary things that have to be established in order for the house to be made habitable.
I'm just thinking about basically what we're being asked to do is to determine if the appeal process was fair and you all did everything you needed to get done. When you, but you noticed both parties with the appeal process.
So the other interested party got attached to that back in 2019. The deed to the foundation occurred in 2022. So without there being some clear paperwork showing that the other party that was notified either had a right, didn't have a right to the property, we may notice, because we want to make sure that we notify anybody that even has the potential of being an interested party.
So you did notice everyone with the
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, Councilor Dector Wright.
Thank you, Chair Gilbert. I appreciate my colleagues' careful questioning and consideration of this very challenging case. Mr. Atatula, first I just want to say thank you for coming here tonight, and I'm sorry for your loss. And I'm sorry for the hardships that you've been managing. Sometimes it's just one more thing, and that's why I just empathize with that. And want to hold some space for that.
I'm glad, because coming from a 935, blood sugar, and I'm still here, that means there's still a lot of fight in me.
That's right.
Well, it's good.
I know it's not easy to get down here and have this conversation with us.
No.
I just, Mr. Cox, the third party in question, is that Christina Kirchhoff that's listed on the notice of lien requested?
Yes, ma'am.
Have we ever heard from Ms. Kirchhoff in this whole process?
No, ma'am.
Well, Google tells me she might not be alive anymore. So I just wonder if that is a complicating factor in this discussion. And so I don't want to, do my Google search from the dais, but I think when we're doing legal research and things like that, maybe we should go and look at those things. This is a complicated situation. I think what I'm hearing and seeing is that the immediate issue of securing the building so that we don't have squatters in there, that could then potentially lead to other major complications such as a fire or other issues. So the building's secure. The building's not habitable. To my colleagues who have been here longer than a year, we've had a lot of uninhabitable properties that we give lots of extended time and consideration to. So there is that precedence. I'd like to make a motion that we continue this appeal request 90 days to April 29th, 2026 at 5 p.m. Give Mr. Atatula some time to maybe talk with Carrie Fothergill and Councilor Hall Harper to see if they can come up with a game plan, explore options, to which Councilor Bangle is saying, feasibility for rehabilitation, what programs exist. I think Carrie has done a very good job of that with other folks in the past. So that's my motion, is to continue this request hearing to April 29th, 2026 at 5 p.m.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, but Councilor Hall Harper, did you want to say something else?
I don't have a problem with that motion, but I do want to be clear. If we uphold the decision of the hearing officer either today or in April, what's the next steps? Because in this decision, did they say that this property should be or could be demolished?
So, so the signed order gives the property owner the ability to provide the necessary steps in order to rehabilitate the structure, the timeframes, and so
Okay.
that time would start then.
I get that.
Started. So, based on Mr. Atatula's what he wants to do with the property will then kind of determine the next step. So if his choice is to rehabilitate it, we'll work with him on the timeframes on when that occurs, and if he decides another direction, we'll work with him as well.
Okay, let me be clear then. When we make a decision, whether we uphold the hearing officer's decision or not, if that property is demolished by the city, would you all have to come back before us to do that? Or will that just be a part of the decision that was made by the hearing officer and there's no recourse at that point?
So if you uphold the hearing officer's decision and the city does end up demolishing it, then we would not have to come back to you.
Okay, no. So yeah, we want to hold it like what he
Yeah, so
just
the motion's
suggested.
to give you 90 days, Counselor, to work with Mr. Atatula, and then maybe we can get Carrie Fothergill and some resources.
And just so Mr. Atatula knows, Carrie Fothergill, her role at the city is she's a citizen advocate who helps when you have to work across different departments or government entities. She helps people navigate that. And so, including can probably support you in accessing some of those potential legal services as needed. So that's part of her role.
So we're doing a 90-day hold on this?
Yeah,
so
just a
that
continuation of this
On the
agenda
decision.
item.
Yeah.
To Wednesday, April 29th, 2026 at
For
5 p.m.
tabling, okay.
In this room.
Okay, so we have yeah, Counselor, you
Yeah,
good?
second, yeah. Vote.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second.
Okay, call the roll, please.
Counselor Gilbert?
Yes.
Counselor Bengal?
Yes.
Counselor Dr. Wright?
Yes.
Counselor Lakin?
Yes.
Counselor Bush?
Yes.
Counselor Hall Harper? Counselor Archie?
Yes.
Counselor Bellis?
Yes.
Okay, it passed, we got you some time.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll, code enforcement, will you get with him and work with him to hook him up with Carrie Fothergill or whomever else with the city? So, thank you.
I have one other question.
Yep.
When was the last time you seen Christina?
When I made the report, that's when I ran into her, But since
How long
then,
ago was that?
That probably was probably a couple of years ago.
Couple of years? Yeah, we need to see if she's still on this side. Okay. Because
on
if
this
she's
side.
no longer on this side, then, we can probably.
Yeah, she's around. She's still doing the same thing.
You've seen her? You know she's alive?
Yeah, she's alive. Because I run her record, I find it in fraud, and she's still doing the same thing.
She's still conning.
She's still conning, yeah.
Conning, okay.
I would just say if we could get legal aid, Carrie Fothergill, T-Town, Revitalize
Find
T-Town,
out.
whatever options might be out there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
she's still around.
Mr. Cox, thank you very much for helping him out. Appreciate you. All right. 11, hearing of public comments. There are no items this week. Item number 12, adjournment. We are adjourned. Sorry, I didn't